Alright guys, so this is camping in a Missouri state park. You know, it's you can go on this search for a perfect place to do your bushcraft, different stuff like that, but if it's keeping you from doing it, you know, from practicing your skills, then do exactly what I'm doing here. I actually enjoy car camping quite a bit because you can take as much or as little as you want. It's always right there by the vehicle. I drive a van, so if it gets to storming real bad or anything like that, I can get into the van. But I'm able, you know, I come out here, I build fires, I cook. Now in a state park, you're not allowed to gather firewood. So generally, in this case, I generally buy 2 bundles, and I'll split 1 or 2 down to make some smaller stuff to get the fire started. But then after that, I'm able to, as you can see, I'm actually able to go ahead and get these to start burning. And I just leave them whole after that, and I'll spread that out here in a minute. But so the whole thing is 2 bundles generally last me till 1 in the morning or something like that. So 2 bundles is enough. And again, I mean, it's, you know, it's like, oh man, I don't get to gather my own wood. I don't get to, you know, well, whatever. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff. If you want to come out here and start this fire with a bow drill, knock yourself out. Nobody's going to complain. The whole thing is to get out here, to look around, to feel it. You know, camping during the week, you know, it kind of lets you kind of reset yourself. And typically most of these campgrounds are fairly empty. Like right now, there's me and 1 other person, I believe, in this campground, and they're on the other end of the campground. So it's not like I'm surrounded by people. You know, I like backpacking a little more, but typically most places that you backpack won't allow fires. So, and in this same park, I actually have, I backpacked the trail over here. It's a 9-mile trail, I believe, 9 or 10 mile trail, and I'll backpack in on it and spend the night. But it's no fires, you know, so I bring my little, like a pocket rocket or something like that if I'm wanting to cook. Otherwise you can just bring, you know, snack bars and stuff. But generally, man, guys, you know, this is your taxes at work, man. You know, you work hard, I work hard. You know, go out here and enjoy this stuff. I mean, you know, it's not ideal as far as being out in the middle of the woods, nobody messing with you. You can cut all the trees down you want and everything. But this is definitely a good way to practice your skills as far as outdoors. And if you're more of a beginner, this is a great way to do it, because if all else fails, sleep in your vehicle if you can't get your fire going or whatever. So guys, keep in mind when you're wanting to get into bushcraft or camping or backpacking or hiking or anything, you may not find the perfect scenario for what you're trying to do, but find something fairly close, work with it, and just go on, you know, and keep the feelers out for somebody with land or whatever you're looking for. But car camping is a ton of fun, man. I have a blast. I come out here and I get to play with my gear, my knives, and you know, build a fire, cook on the fire and stuff. So I definitely recommend, if you're into the outdoors at all, don't shunt car camping. You know, give it a try, see what you think about it. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. So like I said, it's not really a bushcraft haven, so to speak, you know, because I mean, we've got so many resources available that we're not really doing a whole lot of searching. But you know, there's a lot to learn, guys. I mean, if you're still learning, learning how to cook on a fire is actually, it's a lot different than cooking on something that you just, you know, you can just kind of turn the switch and it's hotter or cooler or whatever. You know, when you're camping on, or when you're cooking on a fire, you've actually got to kind of find your hot spots and your cool spots. You may have to turn your meat and, you know, or whatever you're cooking different ways to get the best effect. But anyway, don't count car camping out. It's a lot of fun, and you know, it's available to everyone, and you're able to do most things that you would want to do on like a bushcraft expedition. So but yeah, I have a blast with it, man. So definitely check into car camping in your local area and just see what it takes, see what rules they have, what rules they don't have. Tomorrow night I'm going to be camping at a different spot, and it's actually a privately owned spot. So it's someone who owns the land, and they've decided to create a campground. So in that case, I can actually gather my fire. They allow you to gather your firewood, and so it just different camp spots are gonna be different ways and different different rules, different regulations. But the thing is, is just to make sure that you're getting out there, that you're getting off your ass. You're not sitting on your computer all the time watching people doing it, but yet you're doing it. Because I got a fire going. I didn't use any fuels or anything. I did use some paper and different stuff out of the van, but I didn't use any charcoal starter or nothing like that, which I have a bad habit of doing just because it's so quick and easy. You can soak a piece like this down with charcoal starter, let it set for about 2 or 3 minutes, and light that thing, and literally, because it soaks in, it'll actually, you can come close to starting a fire with a big one. But you're going to be fighting it. You're going to be blowing on a lot, trying to get it going. Like this, we have enough heat going from underneath that anything I set on there is going to burn, just because of the fact that I started small, moved up to the bigger stuff. But I'm no fire expert. That's why I'm out here. That's why I'm doing this stuff. I'm playing with fire. I'm seeing how many bundles it takes. I know that it takes me 2 bundles to get through the night now, so I just get 2 bundles. And just dispersing my coals once they're established. But these are all things that you can practice and learn. Just building a fire, no joke. If you don't take the extra steps to go from something combustible to a light, to a thin fuel, to a thicker fuel kind of deal, if you don't do that, you're actually going to fight it. So you've actually got to kind of play with it and see how small your fuel has to be, as far as kindling goes, how small it has to be to actually be able to ignite something a little bit larger. And then once you have that thing, which what I'll do is I'll cut one of these in half with my silky saw. I'll cut one in half, and then I'll baton it down. Like in something like this, I'd probably baton it there. This may end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 8 pieces. And I do the same thing on the other end, so you're talking about 16 pieces. It's easier to baton once you cut it in half, so that you don't have all this stress to deal with. Once you cut it here, you get it down about here, turn your knife, and it'll pop that right off. If you got it cut in half. If you're trying to do the whole length of it, then you're pretty much going to have to drive it down to about 3/4 or even further before you can turn your knife and pop it off. But go ahead and cut them in half. And literally, a lot of times, man, once you cut them in half, because you don't have all of this tension down here, you're actually, a lot of times, man, you hit it 4 or 5 times, get down to maybe here, and it'll just separate. So anyway, that's just something to think about, to where you're, because this stuff like this is real convenient for me. I live in Missouri, and I have, within a 30-minute radius, I have, 4 or 5 different places to camp that I know of, and there's more, but with these spots, like tonight I'm here, and some stuff's allowed, some stuff's not allowed, and then tomorrow night, different stuff will be allowed. One advantage to this one, too, is maybe half a mile that way, there's a pretty good sized lake, and it's really, they stock it really well with panfish. Last time me and my boys was out here, I caught 7 bluegill, and then my oldest boy, he caught 5. So you can actually come out here, and for a perfect scenario for somebody who's just trying to get into some bushcraft or survival, or however you want to talk about it, wilderness survival, a place like this, I can go down there, catch my fish, come back, clean them, build my fire, and prepare my fish. Something I like to do is actually cook really good food when I'm camping. I actually like to pack some extra stuff, and actually be able to cook something that you would actually enjoy at home. If you come home after a hard day of work, and have something that's sitting on the table like what I'm cooking out here. I try and make that. Last night was ribs and potatoes. I'm gonna eat leftovers. So that's the quickest, easiest, and simplest way for me this evening. I thought about trying to catch my supper, so to speak, but by the time I'd work today and run around and everything, You know, I didn't have it in me, and I got those ribs sitting in the cooler, so I'm just gonna throw them back on the grill, warm them up a little bit, and that'll be supper tonight. But yeah, definitely don't overlook, you know, the simple resources like this, you know, that, you know, you can take advantage of, and you can actually come out here, and like I said, yes, I'm sitting in gravel instead of grass out in the middle of the woods. Yes, I have this stupid ass fire pit that blocks all the wind, that blocks all the air to my wood. So I've actually taken their fire pit and I've dug dampers on both sides so that I can actually get air underneath my fire. Before I did that, I could barely get something that big to burn. Now, you know, but this air made all the difference in the world, because you create spaces and all your this is ugly as shit, but you create spaces in all your wood. And even when you've got your bundle of kindling, I mean, there's so many small pieces, but there's airflow in between all of them, and the airflow is huge. It's almost impossible. It is impossible to actually build and nurture a fire without a decent airflow. It's because it needs air, you know. It needs oxygen to get going. So that's why I dug these out on both sides. 100% difference. I mean, I haven't had, you know, after that, the fire took off good, and then this one, I didn't fight this one at all. So, you know, digging these dampers definitely made a difference. But anyway, guys, just give an idea, you know, just give a little, you know, consideration towards car camping. Don't be judgmental. Don't be like, that ain't bushcrafting. No, it's car camping. But there's a lot of things relevant to what I'm doing that is bushcraft or survival or wilderness survival or anything like that. But it's convenient. You're able to take your family if you wanted to, or if they want to go or whatever. So definitely don't overlook car camping. I think you definitely enjoy it, and please be sure to make sure and let me know. Post comments below, shoot me an email, whatever. I'd like to hear about your expeditions too, man. I'd like to see what kind of setup you got in your area, and see what kind of stuff you like to do while you're car camping, man. It's a ton of fun. I got my hammock set up, and you know, I mean, it's good. I'm, you know, out by myself, and this is also a good way if you're considering solo camping, which I solo a backpack. And if you're considering solo camping and backpacking and stuff, this is a great way to realize what it feels like to be alone in the woods all night by yourself, you know. And some people have an issue. I mean, you know, it spooks them. I was raised in the country, so I actually, when I'm out in the woods, I actually sleep in. I mean, at home, I never sleep past 5:30 or 6 o'clock. But when I'm out camping like this, I usually, like this morning, I think I rolled out, it was about 8 or 8:30. I never sleep that late. But, you know, I'm relaxed out here. It's very peaceful. It's very natural. There's, you know, just everything's just, all your surroundings and everything, man, you're just, you know, you kind of get submerged into them. So, but anyway, guys, keep it in mind. Do some car camping. Let me know how it goes. If you got any questions, comments, problems, suggestions, you know, whatever, on my videos and stuff, be sure to let me know.